a changing work world creates demand for retraining and an effort to help us all work less. That's next from the vault. Plus, double trouble, a day with a local mom of quadruplets. And meet a woman whose passion for her craft runs red hot. All that, a doggy paddle like no other. And a U of I student gets the call for the duet of her dreams. Next, from the vault.
The stories that made news and made history. The places that mattered to us and the people who made Central Illinois home. Join us from the vault.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Matt Metcalf. So glad you could join us. The work world is in constant flux. New businesses and industries come, old ones fade away. Workers here in Central Illinois saw those changes happening firsthand in the late 1970s and early 1980s. A growing number of heavy industries started moving their plants overseas to take advantage of cheaper labor. As unemployment began to inch up, politicians were willing to entertain new ideas to help workers keep food on the table. One idea, shorten the work week from 40 hours to 32 to encourage employers to hire more people. Channel 3's John Paul filed this report from Danville in 1979.
The work week has not been reduced since 1938, when Congress decreased it from 48 to 40 hours. Now, a coalition of labor supporters and others propose to lower it again. They claim it would allow more people to work and ease unemployment lines. Plus, they say it could cut back on overtime. The United Auto Workers Union has long been a supporter of a shorter work week. In fact, R.L. Kelly of the UAW in Tilton says we are already moving toward a shorter working schedule.
We're right now at a point about 90% of the 4-day work week. For example, our people will receive, in addition to their vacation time in 1980, they will receive a total of 27 days off with pay during that year.
At a University of Illinois news conference today, noted economist John Kenneth Galbraith said it would be wrong to move to a shorter work week. He said the claims that it would decrease unemployment are totally false. And Danville's Berkeley Davis Company president, Emmett Craig, says it in fact would be more inflationary.
Fewer and fewer people are working to pay for more and more people retired. It's the same thing here. And it's with relation to not only our competition here in this country, but to our foreign competition. Our productivity is not improving a bit to overcome this.
Even the president's labor secretary is undecided on a shorter work week. Ray Marshall says it may be better to shorten the work week through collective bargaining rather than through legislation. In Danville, I'm John Paul.
To understand what was going on, we need to look at the unemployment data. This is historical data from the State Department of Employment Security that I refocused to look at just Central Illinois. Now, between the time that story aired in 1979 and our next story aired in 1983, unemployment started to climb here significantly, reaching 11.5% in Central Illinois in 1983. Workers faced both outsourcing and another new challenge, automation and computers. That led local business leaders to advocate for retraining programs to help prepare for the jobs of tomorrow. Here's Gene Ulbrich from the vault.
Once our nation took pride in its ability to provide jobs, just a decade ago the auto and steel industries were booming and people with strong backs and a desire to work were needed in the factories. In the meantime, though, foreign competitors caught the country by surprise. Imports produced in efficient factories at competitive prices have created sheer havoc in the American industrial base.
There are jobs that people have been laid off from that will not exist ever again. There is a structural change in our workforce.
As the supply of blue-collar jobs decreases, demand for other types of work has increased. Enter the world of high-tech, computers and electronic circuitry. Production plants like this one are hardly reminiscent of the heavy industrial factories that symbolize the Industrial Revolution. With small high-tech firms popping up all over the country, many economists believe that these are the assembly lines of the future. But just because high-tech may not be a job seeker's cup of tea, that doesn't necessarily mean he's doomed to a future of unemployment.
I think the great potential in the future for jobs is in the service area. And I think there's going to be a literal explosion of jobs in those areas.
So many folks in Central Illinois have turned to the community colleges for help. Students are using these institutions to brush up on basic education such as math or English, or to learn a wide variety of new skills. Training in computers and electronics are both popular at the community college level, but these skills require an acute understanding of mathematics. And administrators say people who are rusty in basic algebra are easily intimidated.
We will help the person to every degree possible to gain the skills that they need in those areas, or the basic skills which they may not have acquired in high school for whatever reason.
Community college officials say their staffs are eager to help because they understand the students' predicament. Many students are earning associate degrees while they hold down a full-time job.
High tech was a good prospect for a job in the future, so I decided to retrain in electronics.
And I decided to re-educate myself and get in a position where I could earn more money and have cleaner working conditions. So I decided to go into computer programming.
If we properly retrain, get geared up, and direct ourselves to high tech as opposed to the kinds of things that we're losing, some of the heavy industry, then I think, yeah, we will see more jobs. But it's going to be a completely different ballpark.
Interestingly, some of those 1983 predictions held true. Both nursing and hospitality grew and continue to grow. Now, some vintage jobs are still with us. WCIA has produced stories about 9 different local blacksmiths over the last 30 years. For a craft most people think extinct, that's a lot. So what's the allure? Channel 3's Matt Olson and photographer Scott Hatch asked Smithy Lorelei Sims back in 2000. It's from the vault.
Blacksmithing, the intensely heated craft of calluses, forged forearms, battered boots, and anvils apathetic to punishment. This is man's work, man, but not in Charleston.
Hi, I'm Lorelei Sims, and welcome to 5 Points Blacksmith Shop.
Her shop screams the job, the forges, hammers, and vices are the loudest. But Lorelei Sims can only talk about the profile she doesn't fit.
Male, pretty big, long sinewy hands, strong.
Lorelei headed off to college with artistic intentions. As she earned undergraduate and graduate degrees, metal art became her focus and mild steel became her medium. Although Lorelei apparently received some genetic persuasion.
It brought back a lot of history for me because I come from 7 generations of coppersmiths in Denmark. And as I was growing up, I didn't have that connection with metalwork per se until I started to get into college, when I started to do art.
So Lorelei opened up a shop in Charleston where her artistic path took a practical jog, because as she manipulated metal,
this is called a basket weave.
The marketplace shaped her work.
I didn't anticipate having what I have right now. I really thought of this space as my personal studio space to pursue my work in metal art. And it just so happens that I have one of the only facilities in Charleston that does welding repair.
So a day at the shop might find Lorelei delicately crafting a steel rose or repairing a wood chipper chute. Of course, there's some peril to all this tempering, pounding, and quenching of nearly molten metal.
Between like a bright orange and yellow is about 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a little warm.
A tad. Playing with fire has its price. Contact with the menacing metal would be bad, real bad. Yeah, Lorelei's tough as nails, or tough as the railroad spikes she renders into decorative knives. She's returned to a mountain of awaiting work, enough to keep her busy for a year, and to a trade that's developing a second X chromosome.
I'm very happy to say that there are more and more women joining blacksmithing, mostly as hobbyists or as artists using blacksmithing as their medium.
Certainly, she is and will long be the only blacksmith named Lorelei in the country.
Maybe the world. Maybe the world.
Love it. Hey, can twins really feel one another's pain? Some Central Illinois siblings double down on their experience. That's coming up. Also ahead.
She's usually the first one up, and I get another one up after she's done, and another one, another one.
The bottles never stop for this Central Illinois mom. Her life with newborn quadruplets. Stay with us. So here's a question for you. Do twins actually think alike? If they do, was it because they were raised together, or is there something in the DNA? WCIA ran a series called Seeing Double back in 1998, exploring how local twins experienced being a twin. Here's Eric Hong.
It's hard to explain it.
But Ramona and Rebecca Benschneider of Champaign swear by it.
We just know what's going on in each other's head at the same time, and we know what each person's going to say when she's going to say it.
It's easy to see why. Ramona and Rebecca are more than just twin sisters. They're also roommates and best friends. Having a conversation with them is like talking to one person.
Go ahead. Sometimes.
Oh, we have
our fights. We do have our fights.
And, same style,
but different colors.
But some twins say they don't have to live together to feel that special bond. Darlene Starkey of Paxton and Kathleen Wilkin of Armstrong grew up in separate households, but say they can still literally feel each other's pain. A few months ago, Kathleen woke up in the middle of the night with a throbbing ache in her leg.
When I woke up, I thought, oh, gee, the way this thing hurts, I hope that she's not having this pain too, but I bet you something's not right.
In fact, at the same moment, miles away here in Paxton, Darlene was also awake, hobbling around her living room. She was feeling the effects of leg surgery performed hours earlier.
I would be very skeptical about such claims.
Not everyone is a believer. Lillian Katz is a professor of early childhood education at the University of Illinois and is a twin herself. She says there's no conclusive evidence to support the existence of a special twin bond.
A coincidence? I don't know, but I would wait on the evidence, and I haven't seen compelling evidence that they have this kind of mystical bond.
But whether or not that bond exists, many twins say they share a unique closeness that goes beyond any normal sibling relationship. It's a union of spirits and a testament to the importance of family. Eric Hong, Channel 3 News, Champaign.
Back when Eric filed that story in 1998, the number of twins being born was at a 3-decade upswing. That number, along with the overall birth rate, has declined since the 2010s. So doctors say that multiple births run in the family. So when Mark and Jeanette Tilmoni found out that they were pregnant, another set of twins could be a possibility. Turns out they would be blessed with twins ×2. Here's Channel 3's Maureen Ume from the vault, 1994.
You can get that milk out of the fridge for me.
It's not so unusual to see a couple preparing to feed their baby, but it is unique when that baby is one of 4 hungry newborns.
This is it. We go do this every day, over and over and over.
And that everyday schedule begins at 4 a.m. when the tiniest, Alex, is given her first bottle.
She's usually the first one up, and I get another one up after she's done, and another one, and another one. Then after they eat, I line them up and change them, and then I get back up, it's time to feed again.
Those feedings amount to 24 bottles a day shared by babies Adam, Eric, Alana, and of course Alex. All 4 were born 14 weeks prematurely 2 months ago, but from their appetites, it's almost hard to tell.
You ready to do this again?
I got another mess.
And if you thought taking care of 4 of these little guys is a handful, don't worry, the Tilmonis have had plenty of experience. They already have 6 children separately, ranging in age from 19 to 7, 2 of which are twins.
That was easy. And I thought 3 was easy. But when Alex came home, I put them all on the bed. It looked like a handful.
But Janet does receive help with the babies from her husband Mark and the other children. But when that help isn't available,
I just do one at a time, and if the swing doesn't work, then I just have to let them cry.
Meanwhile, more bottles await fixing and 4 babies await feeding. In Gibson City, Maureen Ume, the Channel 3 News at 10.
I think they need a lot more refrigerators. According to the federal government, quadruplet births were actually more common in the 1990s. Today, 1 in every 572,000 pregnancies results in quadruplets. Well, it's a wildlife rescue, saving a Central Illinois whale. I'll explain coming up. And next, a dream duet, signed, sealed, and delivered for a U of I student.
From the vault, celebrating the rich history of Central Illinois.
Well, it's one thing to sing the songs of your favorite performer and something very different to sing the songs with your favorite performer. WCIA was there for a U of I student's duet of a lifetime. Here's our Larry Meyer from the vault, 1986.
Hundreds of U of I students waited more than an hour to see Stevie Wonder, and they weren't disappointed. Stevie accepted a key to the city and a T-shirt in support of the U of I's Beer Fast campaign. And then he started to play.
You are the sunshine of my life. All right, so I'll always be around.
Later, he asked if anyone in the audience could really sing. U of I sophomore Pam Greer said she could, and she did. Stevie then reminded students not to drink and drive. Students say the message hit home. Larry Meyer, Channel 3 News, Urbana.
How about that, right? Wonder released his own album in 2005, but recently he collaborated with Lady Gaga as well as the Rolling Stones on their release, Sweet Sounds of Heaven. Well, what tricks can your dog do? Meet a four-legged friend who dives in and gives new meaning to doggy paddle. That's next. Welcome back. From the vault, 1981, a massive effort to save a local whale. WCIA was there as crews used a crane to move Jolly the whale from the Lincoln Square Mall in Urbana. The polished concrete sculpture was installed in the early 1960s, but renovations required Jolly, along with two other sculptures of a bear and a mare and foal, to be moved. Jolly would land at Crystal Lake Park, but the elements took their toll on her and she started to crumble and was removed from public display in the late 1990s. Well, in the dog days of summer in Central Illinois, there's nothing like a swim in the lake. But would you consider swimming across the entire lake? One dog did. Our Gene Ulrich filed this report in 1982.
It wasn't a run-a-thon, it wasn't a skate-a-thon. Instead, it was a swim-a-thon, and the star of the show was Great Breakwater Bo, a purebred Labrador retriever. The idea is simple. Philanthropy workers sell raffle tickets for Bobo to swim 1.5 miles across Lake Decatur. Bo's owner, Larry Parkhurst, was in the water to offer a little coaxing.
Here he comes! Come on, Bo. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Bo is a veteran to the water. He completed the same swim last year in 33 minutes. Can he beat that time? Yes, 32 minutes, 28 seconds, and Bo has a pretty proud owner.
Do you know any other dog that can match Bo's record?
I don't know of any. I suppose that through the proper training that it might be able to be done, but he's special to me. He's number one with me.
By swimming across Lake Decatur, Bo here may have raised $2,200 for the United Cerebral Palsy of East Central Illinois. He didn't do it for the money. Lanny here says he does it because he likes it. Gene Ulrich, Channel 3 News, Decatur.
Gotta love it. Stay with us. Our classic commercial is next. For decades, WCIA celebrated the valedictorians and the salutatorians from all the local high schools. It was the best of the class.
Channel 3 supports excellence and joins the Illinois State Board of Education in saluting the best of the class of 1987.
It's time for autographs, cap and gown, graduation fun. Time for standing proud with all the honors that you've won. You're the best of the class this year.
Channel 3 salutes the best of the class of 1987.
And we salute you for watching from the vault. Thanks for joining us. We hope we'll see you again.